Alright guys, welcome back to another video, second video of this series. In this video we're going to go over macros, and basically what macros are is macronutrients. Macros is just short for that, and what that is instead of counting calories, because you can eat, let's say you're on a 2,000 calorie diet. I mean, you could eat 2,000 calories worth of ice cream. Does that mean it's good for you? No. Probably not good for your health, nor for dieting purposes, right? So what macros are what make up calories. And what those macros are protein, protein, carbs, and fats. Now, when it comes to those three macros, we always use the 4-4-9 rule, and that's science. That's not me making it up. If you were just to Google how many calories is in 1 gram of protein, is 4 calories. How many calories are in 1 gram of carbs? It's 4. How many calories are in 1 gram of fat? It's 9. So I've wrote it down all here on this sheet so you guys can follow it along with me. So here we have it. Here's the table that I just explained to you guys. This is science. This isn't just something that is made up. This is actual fact right here. So whenever you're trying to figure out your calories, your macros, you want to go off of this table right here. So these proteins, carbs, fats. Now, for me, I figured out 1,700 calories is my goal. Now, how did I figure that out? So whenever you want to maintain, this is basically where you are not losing any weight or gaining any weight. So you're just basically plateauing, you're not moving. So we always subtract 500, that's how we got that number. Well, I'll explain how we got this number here in a second. But if we want to add, so if we were to add 500 from here to over here, we would have 2,200. And then if we add another 500, it'd be 2,700. So this is if you're maintaining. For me, this is if I'm cutting, and this is if I'm bulking, right? That's what those mean right there. Now, how did I figure out these numbers? Like you're wondering, well, where did you even get these numbers? Now, there's two ways of doing it. One is the hardest, but the most precise. There's two things you will need when you are dieting. One is a food scale, and 2 is a body scale, because you will be weighing yourself every day. Now, what you want to do is weigh yourself every day in the morning after you've gone to the bathroom and done your business, and then you want to weigh yourself consistently in the same attire. So if you weigh yourself in underwear, then do it in your underwear every day. If you do it with fully clothed, do it fully clothed every day. Don't change it. That way your weigh-ins are consistent, and you show continuous progress and true progress. Now, another thing. So going back to how we're figuring out these numbers, these calories, because first we have to figure out the calorie count, and then we can move into breaking down what makes up that calorie count. So there's two ways. One is the most efficient is you track your food that you eat, and for 3 weeks, then you add and you weigh yourself every day, and then you will get an average of how much you weighed that week. So you'll add up all the weigh-ins and then divide them by 7, and you'll get an average. And you compare it week 1 to 2 to 3, and you'll see a pattern of whether you're maintaining, you're going up, or you're going down. And that way you'll know what your specific number will be of caloric intake. I know this for a fact that I'm this 2,200 about to maintain. So once I know this number, it's only 500 less to cut and then 500 more to bulk. Nowadays we want things fast and readily available like this, right? So I wrote down a website here. It's called calorieking.com. It's really good to figure out your weight. I'll show you guys here on my phone real quick what I mean. So this is what Calorie King looks like. So just so you guys know, for those of you who want to go with the calculator, which is the easiest, I guess you would say, since it's instant. So anyways, so that's how doctors figure out what scale you're at, basically, when they say you're underweight, you're at a good weight, you're a little overweight, you're obese, because you're subject to a scale depending on 3 things: your height, your age, and your gender. So that website will ask you those things and then give you an average of where you should be, give or take. Because you can easily take someone that's my age, my build, everything the same, but since it's a different person, their body mechanisms just work differently because they're a completely different person. But since they use a scale of where you should be according to those 3 things, that's how they can gauge about where you should be. So very simple. I know I'm at 2200 to maintain, so therefore you only take, like I said, 500 to cut or 500 to bulk. Now in this case we're cutting, so we take this 1700 over here and we have 1700 calories. Now just because we know the calorie count is not enough. We need to figure out what this calorie count is made up of. Okay, so the first thing you need to figure out is your fats. Now your fats, you're going to go, fats is essential. You need fats to just live. Now so you can't just cut fat all the way out. You can't just be like, because most people think fat as bad, which is not true. There's good fats and there's bad fats. But anyways, fat is essential. You want to gauge it between 15 to 25%. I like to stick at a 20%. That's why I circled it here. And so what you do is you take 1700 and times it by 0.2, and then you'll get a number, which is 340 calories. Now we're counting the grams. So if you took a nutrition label, they always show grams. They show the calories, but you want to go off the specific grams, because you can say a product is 100 calories. So for example, these potatoes right here, these potatoes say 110 calories, but we're not going to gauge it off the calories. We're going to gauge it off of the grams. So this has 2.5 grams of fat, 20 carbs, and 2 protein. We're not going to go off of the calories. That's a big misunderstanding that a lot of people have, is they think they have to count calories, and we're not counting calories. We're counting the grams, because the grams make up the calories, as we can see here. All right, so moving on. 340 calories is 20% of this, right? Now, how do we get the grams? All we do is to use our table here. 9 calories go into 1 gram. So all we would have to do is divide this number by 9, which gives us 37 grams. So next we have protein. Now protein, you want to intake about 100, for me anyways, I want to intake about 160 grams a day. This is because the number, how I got this is the weight that you want to reach. Right now I'm at 177 and I want to be 160. So I want to take 1 gram per body pound that I want to weigh. So it's right here. Now what I do is divide that by 4, which is right here. Obviously you take your calculator, and then you'll get a number of calories, which is right here, 640 calories. That's why there's a C right there. There's a C here, a C here, and a C here. So now, oh, that's Rocky. 2 videos now, huh? Okay. Now the last one we want to do is grab our calorie count, and all we do is make up the difference. So how we do that is we add this calorie count and this calorie count, and there's going to be a remaining number of this calorie right here. So if we were to take this, add this, plus this, and then minus this, you're going to get 720. Now calories. Now all we do is, again, take our table over here, divide this by 4, and we get 180 grams. Okay, so there you have it. That's how you break down your macros. So for me, I'm going to be intaking 37 grams of fat, 160 grams of protein, and 180 grams of carbs. The next thing we want to, now how do we track that? I use an app called MyFitnessPal by Under Armour. I'm sure most of you have heard of it or seen it. It's a huge, it has a huge library of foods. It's very efficient since you can just scan bars of like items. It is a very efficient app in my opinion. I've never used any others out there, so I don't have any other suggestions really in regards to using another app, but I'm sure there's other apps out there. I'm not saying it's the only one, but that's the one I use, and it's very efficient. It shows you your calories and it breaks down your macros. So that way you don't have to write it down on a piece of paper and then keep note of it, or have it in your phone and have to keep count that way. So we can dive into that app and how to use it in a different video, but that's all I have for you guys in regards to macros. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you're more than welcome to ask them down in the comment section below. It's pretty straightforward. Once you do it once, you get into the rhythm and finally understand it. It's hard to understand it until you actually do it, maybe once or twice, but yeah, if you guys have any questions or need help figuring out your personal macros, like, you're more than welcome to send us a message or leave a comment section in the down below. So that's all we got for you guys in this video. As always, stay fitted, stick with it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.